Well, hey folks, welcome back to the channel. I am Brian, and today we're going to be going over this giant portable battery station from Eenour. This is a 2,000 watt lithium iron phosphate battery unit with a 2,000 watt pure sine inverter built into it, up to a 4,000 peak inverter that you'll get for a very short period of time, but it's rated for 2,000 continuous running watts. Now, the reason that I'm showing this to you folks is that I get a lot of questions from people wanting to know if, how long they can run quite a bit of equipment or larger devices for more than a few days, and just the little handheld Jackery units just aren't going to do what they're wanting it to do, and you're going to have to end up using something like this that is not really portable. This is kind of a niche market for these big 50+ pound portable battery stations, and that's why I wanted to show you guys this particular one. But what I'm here to do is to test it out to see if it's something that's going to be worth your money and to help you make a decision. So just top to bottom, 2,000 watts worth of lithium iron phosphate juice inside here, 2,000 watt continuous pure sine inverter up to a 4,000 watt peak for a short period of time. It supports up to 500 watts of solar power. Now, if you've got 4,000 watts of solar panels on your roof, this will only accept 500 of that because it's got a built-in MPPT charge controller in it. It does have a UPS mode, so you can connect this up to some sensitive electronics. In the event that your house does lose power, this will automatically cut on and provide that appliance the juice that it needs to keep running. So you just hook up this to the wall and then hook up your appliance that you want to keep running to the other side of the AC input, and as soon as your power gets down, within 10 milliseconds, this thing will cut on and power that device. So a fish aquarium, CPAP machine, anything that's important, computers, routers, anything that you have to keep running, this will function as a UPS center for those appliances. It does support pass-through charging, so you can run appliances at the same time as you charge this unit. And speaking of charging, everything that you need is going to be up here in this little attic door. So this is where all the cords are. So this unit comes with a cigarette style charging to Anderson connection, AC charging cord, no brick in this. It's just an AC charging cord, and you've got your Anderson connection to your MC4 solar cable connections. So to charge this thing via your home outlet, all you need is this. And of course, this thing comes with a brain built into it, so you can't hurt it or you can't damage it if you do something stupid to it. So it's got the overheat, overcharge, overcurrent, all that type of protection built into it. And it's even got an overload protection switch here on the side that I'll show you, that if you put in too many watts into this unit and try to enforce it too much, it'll trip itself, and you have to come back and hit that little button, little circuit breaker button. Now, this is rated for 3,500 cycles to 80%. So you can get 3,500 complete charge to discharge cycles before you're going to get to 80% of the original capacity of these batteries. So after 3,500 cycles, your battery's only going to be able to get charged up to 80%. Let me pull you guys in closer and show you the ports, and then we're just going to run some tests to see if this thing does what it's supposed to do. So starting out up here in the top left, you're going to have your 12 volt, 10 amp cigarette style charging port. Over here, you're going to have a 12 volt, 10 amp XT60 port, and then you're going to have two 5521 ports, and these are rated at 3 amps a piece. Then over here, you're going to have two USB-A 12 watts, then two USB-A quick charge 3.0, and these are rated at 18 watts a piece. And then you're going to have two 100 watt output only power delivery ports. And then of course, you're going to have a little 2 watt LED light. Right here is where you're going to charge the unit via the supplied charging cable. You're just going to plug it into right there and plug it into the wall. Here's going to be your Anderson connections. That's where you're going to plug in your solar panels or anything that requires an Anderson connection right there. And then up here is your overload protection reset button. So if you overload this unit by trying to run too high a draw of appliance and it trips itself, give it about 30 seconds, come back and hit that little button, and this unit will reset itself. On the other side, you're going to get all 6 of your AC charging plugs. So you can run up to 6 AC appliances. Given that you stay under 2,000 watts, you can run them from here. So let me turn the unit on. Press and hold the power switch. It's going to cut on. And you can see the screen here has got quite a bit of useful information. So it's got discharge remaining time, so it'll kind of give you a countdown of how long you have left until this thing runs dry. Here you're going to have your battery gauge, your battery meter. Then you're going to have your input watts and your output watts. So I've got the charging cable plugged into the side. Let me plug it in, and you can see the amount of watts that using the AC power is going to push into this thing. All right, that's pretty amazing. So we're hovering right around 1100 input watts, and that should take about 70 minutes to completely fill up, and I'm at 36% right now. All right, folks, so you can tell here we are at 100% charge, so this thing is topped off. I'll let this thing run at 120 watts. Well, the unit is now off. We were able to squeeze out 1,514.57 watt hours. So when you divide that by the 2,000 rated watt hours, you get around 77%. Typically, I would have liked to have seen this thing get up to at least 80%, but we were only able to get, as you can see, around 76%. Okay, the next test, I'm going to see if this DC outlet has some type of internal regulated cutoff switch, because we don't want the DC to cut off automatically if we're trying to run a fridge. So I'm going to plug this fridge in, I'm going to turn the DC on, and I'm going to set the fridge just around 70 degrees, just enough to keep a draw on it, because I want to see if this thing will cut off if this fridge isn't running for, say, an hour. We don't want that DC outlet to cut off. It has been 13 hours, and you can still see that my cooler is still on and my battery is still going. I'm at 89% now, but this little test tells me that this DC circuit will stay on. There is no built-in cutoff mechanism where if it's not pulling any watts, it's going to cut off after 4 hours or so. So it's good to know that this thing does not have a DC cutoff function built inside it. Okay, let's test out this DC panel though to make sure that this will pull at least 10 amp. So this is the amps over here on the top right. So watch that number as I slowly start to crank it up. 10.2 amps, we're still running. Let's see how much it'll go over 10 amps. 10.6, 10.7, 11 amps, 11.5. You can see the power station's still on. 12 amps, still going. Oh, 12 point, well, my actual capacity monitor is what cut off because it doesn't go above 152 watts. Let's try that one more time. So I'm at 11.5 amps right now, and again, this thing is rated at 10 amps. And we are pulling 144 watts, and it's not shutting off anytime soon. And again, I can't really crank this up any higher, so I'd say, yeah, that thing is definitely rated for at least 10 amps. Okay, so it never fails. I always get people asking me questions, how long can this run an AC unit? So here I am inside my camper. I've got a 5,000 BTU air conditioner. I've got it plugged in, and we're just gonna give this thing a go and see how long it'll run it. So I'm gonna start with the fan on low, and I'm gonna go ahead and start the stopwatch. And we're gonna go to low cool, and let's just see what this pulls. Right now we're at compressor kicked on, 330 watts. So let's go all the way to max cold. If I was running this to try to preserve the battery life, I wouldn't go to max cold. And we're up to 351 watts. Okay, I will check back in when this thing dies. All right, folks, so you can see by the timer, it's around 3 hours and 45 minutes going. I've got 15 minutes left, so I wanted to go ahead and make this video before it cut off. I'm gonna add 15 minutes to this, so I'm gonna basically say 4 hours, this Eenour power station will run a 5,000 watt BTU. Okay, now let's do the actual inverter capacity test. So we're gonna start off with one heat gun on low. We're at 550 watts. Let's turn it up to high. 1150. That's all I can get out of this one heat gun. Let's start the other one. $1,600, $1,700, $18, 2,000 watts. We're at 104 volts right now though. All right, so we're pulling 2008 watts. Let's see if we can't get the sine wave going. So it's really not a bad wave. But with 2,000 watts, we're down to 104 volts. All right. All right, so let's test pass-through charging. So I'm gonna plug up the charging cord. You can probably hear it start to click on. We are charging. So now I'm going to actually charge up one of my Makita batteries, and you can tell here it is very dead. So I'm gonna plug up the battery charger to it. Turn on the inverter. Charging's going. And we're starting to output watts to the battery. 156 watts, 157 watts. Okay, so you can see here I am inputting 1196 watts charging, and I'm also outputting 167 watts to the Makita battery charger. Well, we can hook up the cooler too. Okay, here goes the cooler. You heard the cooler kick on. So yeah, I'd say pass-through charging works just fine. Compressor fridge is on and running. This is charging, and I'm outputting right now 220 watts to both of these units, as well as accepting 1100 and almost 1200 watts of input charge. All right, folks, so now the UPS test, and this thing does function as a UPS, and it will switch from grid power to battery power in less than 10 milliseconds. So that's a very fast, short period of time if you need to keep a computer running or some sensitive type of electronic equipment running. Less than 10 milliseconds is very, very fast. You can tell I've got my fan running here, so I've got the charging cord plugged in. And let me zoom in the camera so you can see what's going on. So the fan is pulling 9 watts. The grid power is putting in 9 watts, so it completely negates itself. It cancels each other out because this battery is 100% full. So when I unplug the grid from the side of the unit, you will see that this battery unit will actually kick on and will continue to run that fan. Okay, here we go. So I'm no longer inputting 9 watts, but I am outputting 9 watts, and that fan didn't miss a beat. All right, folks, so that is the testing for this Eenour P2001. Again, it's a 2000 watt hour / 2000 watt inverter up to 4000 watt peak for a short burst of time if you need it. Overall, it did very well. I was a little bit disappointed in the capacity test, being it only averaged, I believe, around 76 or 77% of its rated capacity. I checked with a couple of other higher profile YouTubers. Jasonoid is a very, very reputable reviewer as well, who reviewed the Ucatel version of this and got the exact same numbers that I did on the capacity test, right around 76 or 77%. I guess it's kind of par for the course for this particular model of power station. UPS mode, less than 10 milliseconds, 2 power delivery ports, 100 watt output, 6 AC outlets, 2000 watt inverter. Again, this is kind of a niche market. You really have to be looking for a large power station because it's not portable. You're not going to lug this thing around, but if you need a lot of power that's going to stay put to run a certain machine, this would do it. And this will run a full-size fridge too on UPS mode. So if you have power go out, this will kick on in the UPS mode and it will run your fridge. It's all going to be dependent how long it will run it on your fridge and what type of compressor it uses, but it does have enough juice in it to keep that fridge running for at least a short period of time if your power goes out. You have to really be needing or wanting a very big power station like this to consider it. So I'm going to put the price of the unit, what it is, down here right now as of today on Amazon. Plus I have a $105 discount code to use on top of whatever it is and whatever other coupon is on Amazon at the time you look at it. So it's just an additional $105 off. It could potentially be a really good deal, and you're basically looking at probably around 50 to 60 cents a watt hour, which is always a very good deal, in my opinion. I typically am okay with paying between 70 and 75 cents a watt hour, so this is gonna be much less than that, whatever the price is, with or without discounts. Anyway, folks, this is the Eenour P2001. If you're interested, to go take a look at it. But again, I have a lot of questions on some of my bigger power stations, and I haven't really done a full in-depth review on any of those. I'm always kind of doing the smaller units. So here's my first review on one of these big units in case you're in the market or you need one. Hopefully some of these tests will help you guys out in the future. So until then, guys, take care and we'll see you soon. Thanks.